Driftwood. It's debris. But it's more than that. It can provide shelter for aquatic life and even be the foundation for sand dunes. It's interesting how it has so many manifestations, from useless rubble to something that can be the base for something so great and ever-changing. That particular piece of driftwood represents the foundation of my life. Because of the many memories that flood my mind when I look at it, I realize that I have it all. And perhaps it's not the all that you might be thinking in the traditional sense, but it's definitely much more meaningful, and I see it in a more meaningful way. That piece of driftwood was found by my grandmother back in the 60s when she first came to America from Cuba. And it became the centerpiece of her home. And it represented art, a Christmas tree during some very poor years in America at first, and even a place where I, as a child, would hang my trinkets and other playthings. My grandmother, Ama, that's her name, that's what I'm going to call her, she chose to see beauty. And she had a rough life, and she had to make a lot of choices that were very difficult, the most grueling of which was sending my father to America alone when he was 11 years old. And he had to escape the communist regime, but she didn't know if or even when she would see him again. I have an 11-year-old, and I can't even begin to fathom how horrible that decision must have been for her to make. Obviously, she did see him again. But he had changed. Life had changed. Things were never going to be the same, but life went on. Eventually, years passed, and I was born, and Amma came to live with us, and by then she was a widow, and she became my playmate. We did everything together. And I would sit with her, and we would chat, and behind her rocking chair hung that piece of driftwood, and I would stare at it, and I thought, it's old, just like Amma. But it was interesting, too, and it was complex, it was pretty cool, and it was definitely strong. It was kind of a wooden representation of Amma, if you will. So to entertain me back then, and I'm a mom now, I understand, God bless her, she would tell me stories all the time, and the one that stands out in my mind the most was about her special tree house up in the sky. And it was where she would go to, probably escape, but also dream and reflect on her life. And it sounded awesome. And as a kid, of course, I wanted to go there too. And I would beg and plead with her to let me go and let me see and teach me more about it. But she wouldn't. And I would say, Ama, dime por favor, cuéntame, ¿cómo es? And please tell me all about it. And she'd say, no, mi amor, es mi casa, mi lugar especial, pero un día tú tendrás la tuya. And she would say that means she wanted me to have my own one day. That was her special place. I'd find my own. I insisted. The woman would not give in. I told you she was strong. I realize now that by never telling me what was in her special place was the best gift she could ever give me. Because she, by not telling me what was special to her, never skewed my perception as to what should be special to me. She let me have my dreams, my hopes, discover my talents, She gave me the opportunity and the freedom to choose and decide for myself. Has anyone ever given you such freedom? Have you ever given yourself the freedom to really do what you want? I know I haven't. And when I haven't really felt right about doing that. And the problem is that by not allowing ourselves, by denying ourselves the ability to do that, to the freedom to choose, we are also denying ourselves something that is innate, and that is the ability to have it all. Because we are born as we are. We have it all, essentially, from day one. But it is society's influence on us that makes us think that the choices we're making or the things that we're thinking aren't exactly right. And that's what leads to feelings of frustration and often feelings of failure. Now, I only came to this epiphany after my daughter was born. I became a mother and I started keeping a journal, which I actually have with me. And I'm glad, by the way. My kid has no baby book. She has no scrapbook, nothing. This is it. This is what she gets for having a writer for a mother. But in it, the passage I'm showing you right now is from her second birthday. And a few things that I say about her are, you are determined, you are relentless in your pursuit to get what it is that you want, and you love life. That's interesting to me because that still describes her to a T, and it's now 9 years later. So am I trying to tell her what should be special to her or how she can have it all one day would be an exercise in frustration for all of us. And that is not just because she's a tween and knows more than everybody here, especially me, but because the things that I find special are not the things that are special to her. And that's the way it should be. She needs to find her own treehouse in the sky, as Amma would say. As for mine, I actually found it only recently. Let me backtrack a little. Amma died a year before I graduated from college. Ironically, she died of complications associated with rheumatoid arthritis, which left her as bent and broken as that piece of driftwood. But she was still beautiful. She also happened to take her last breath hours after I took my law school entrance exam. Whew. Well, losing my biggest fan, my shelter, my rock at that moment made me realize, that was like a slap in the face. I said, I am not on the right path. This isn't me. This is what I think I should be doing. This is what society maybe has told me that I should be doing, but it's not me. It's not who I am. I need to change. But then what, right? Scared, panic. So I drifted. I drifted for many, many years. And I made a lot of decisions along the way, some very good ones, because I married a wonderful man. Some bad ones, and we're not going to talk about those. And some very difficult ones, but never as difficult as the ones that Amma had to make. And as I got older and memories of Amma came back to me, I started to remember her words. And then when my daughter was born, it just all came together. But it wasn't until I hung that piece of driftwood over the mantle of my very own home, and I stopped. And I took a moment to reflect on it a little bit. And that's when I had my aha moment. I said, I have been, just like my daughter, I have had it all since day one. And I just had to clear all the rubble that was in my mind to make me remember that. And that's life. It's the driftwood. It's full of twists and turns and thorns and sharp edges. And yes, it can be garbage sometimes. And it will be, but not always. And we all have the opportunity to make the choices that will get us to a place where we can eventually become the foundation for something significant. I finally see the beauty in all of that, and I encourage you to see it too. Thank you.